Hi, Grandpa. It's a shame you had to miss this, but here it is just for you. Okay, so go. What's that?
Hi, Grandpa.
Hi, Grandpa.
Hi, Grandpa. We miss you. We love you. Where's Grandma? I want to see Grandma. Okay. So anyway, in Spawn, everybody, of course, crouch for the demo. And Sam, you're going to buff me until I'm gone. I'm going to put a sticky here if we're doing a standard rollout. Okay, I'm going to come up through there, come out through the main door. I'd like the flank scout to come with me, and I'm going to go up to the choke. Everybody else, including the pocket, you guys are going to come up through here. So the pocket, you're going to have the axe out, and you're just going to hurt yourself, come up through here, and right around here, Sam should be hitting you with an arrow. And then what's going to happen is our combo scout, you're going to come up through here and through the window. And then I will be here. I'll probably have a sticky or two here in case we have somebody coming up from the drop down. They're soldiers, they like to do that. If you see a soldier start kind of coming over here and he kind of disappears under there, then to call it out, drop down, and that can save us. Flank Scout, your job is to protect me, the demo. And a lot of times our scouts might bum rush through here, try to pick me, and I can get in trouble that way, or a soldier can jump. And I ideally will be putting spam out through the choke if that's where they're at. And they will probably come through the banana over there. This is the banana right here. And this is, I call this the ramp, or you can call it the elbow. So banana,
I swear it's
elbow.
opposite, but
I thought it was opposite as well.
Okay, banana
and then that's elbow.
and elbow. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so basically, once I'm out here and fighting, Sam, you're going to come up and you're going to come through the big door right here, and you're going to pick me up and throw me an arrow, and then go back to doing your heal stuff, you know, whoever, and do your triage. What I like doing with stickies is I'll put a few here, I'll put some out here, and I might put one or two up on top. That's called the nipple right there. Yeah, so that would just be a standard rollout. So then we're going to go back to an aggro rollout. So 2 people this side, myself, flank scout, everybody else, big door, and then going to the left, and then we'd all join up there. Okay, the aggro rollout is demo. Everybody is going to come big door, so I'll just come out and I'll come down through this way, go through here, and it's important, Sam, that you give our soldiers a nice buff because they're both going to jump and get out in there, and we're all going to go top right. And usually if we bum rush their demo, we can get him or pick him off. And sometimes you'll see they'll start coming up aggro on our side, and then we turn into the whirlpool type of situation there, yin and yang, essentially. So if we're going to go aggro, our goal is to catch them off guard, get 2 or 3 of them through here, catch their medic in through here. Usually he'll try to egress to the big door. Watch for snipers. Snipers love to be right around here too. Call it out. If they do have a sniper, a lot of times our scout can just come in here and get in his face, get a pick that way, and snipers can't react in time. Our soldier, also what you can do if we're going aggro is you can come up and you can go drop down.
That's what I usually do, yeah.
Yep, come up and go through there.
Don't do that like at the beginning of a scrim though.
No.
You gotta wait for it.
Yeah, and you want to surprise them. You don't want to do it every time. You don't want to be predictable. That's the same reason why every time I don't want to roll choke, I'll call, okay, we're all going aggro, or big door, and then we're going to come up and bum rush here. And the next time, maybe we just go standard rollout. So standard rollout will be the passive one. That's just where you go choke. Be sure to call, though, if you see any of their players going drop down so we can counter it. And Scout, I really need you to kind of watch my back as we're there, just until we get established, till Sam's there, and then you can go ahead and detach. Okay, any questions so far about the rollouts?
Dan.
Hmm?
When you're approaching the shutter, down there, boy, behind, go into the corner, the right corner, so that Sam can arrow you better.
Oh, you mean that one right here? Just right there, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and everyone stay away from that corner so that I have a nice clear shot to him. I don't want the scouts
Alright.
stealing my bolts. I know you guys love, you know, drugs and whatnot, but there's people
Only
that
if
need
guns were considered drugs, then Danny would be an addict.
All right, that's a good call. All right, so that's that. Okay, so the other thing too, so you can shoot through the windows here. So if we have an aggressive sniper, you can come up close. Our scout, you might be able to come under here, do a sneaky peek, kind of come up behind their med, and maybe like our flank scout and get a pick that way. Sometimes you see a lot of fights in the nipples. I will try to help you with stickies. Also, this little thing, people go, hey, you got this invisible door here or whatever, nudge. But that's because in this mode, before it starts, the spawn door down below is open, and it comes up here and blocks it, so it's not a problem during the match. Nice little ammo pack here. Go ahead.
for whatever reason, if let's say if we're holding last and you're spawn camping the forward spawns, just make sure you don't stand over that spot, because if the door comes up while you're in that spot, you're sitting duck until it's closed.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a good place to hang here, but a lot of times with demos, when you're holding mid and it's kind of stalematy, we have a spam war. I'll be putting roller stickers back here. We're whoring the packs there, back and forth till somebody gets a pick, and then or an advantage, and then make our move, kind of thing. So just watch our advantages, Sam. If you can, be a little bit more aggressive on using fake Uber calls. I know good teams are going to know it, but usually when I do it, when I'm playing mid, I'll do it when I'm about 85. So it's very feasible that you might have it.
If I'm using a lot of fake Uber calls, it's also nice to maybe use a few unmasked Uber calls too.
Yeah.
That always trips them up.
Mix it up. Yep. Mix it up by all means. So usually, okay. So let's just say we get the mid. They've got out with 4 or 5 people, and we're not going to push fast and furious. Usually, if you get mid in this map, you can almost second and get in here and take it pretty fast. But if the numbers were only up by 1 or even, then it gets stalematy. Then we have to start working it. And this is sort of a pain to work because the combo will usually be holding around here. If you do come through fast and furious, always look up here, because it seems like about, I don't know, a third of the time there's a soldier or a demo or a scout hiding up there ready to pounce on you. So always look up there. Traps, see traps here, so just be cognizant if you know their demo is down or not. If he's still up, then there'll probably be traps here, could be in the cone, could be right under the little sign up here, could be here. This is trap haven, so just be careful. If you are going to come out, stay clear of that edge by kind of hugging the right, and then they won't hurt you there. And then always look up as you're egressing. Go.
Yeah, amid the boards, you can stand on them. The boards on the walls.
Yeah, the planks.
Yeah, these planks. You can stand on those. Just be wary about that for pushing from choke.
Yeah, if you're coming through this way.
I haven't seen a lot of soldiers sit up there, but they can. Just be mindful.
And usually what I'll do, like if I see them as demo, I might put a sticky or a roller there, and the soldiers drop down and run, because they know that we know at that point. So they don't hang there very long.
If you see it from big door, just please do call it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, or all you gotta do is just shoddy them or shoot an arrow. It's like, hey, I know you're there, dude. And then they usually drop, because now that their cover is blown. Okay, so you can do sneaky things from underneath, and you can kind of bum rush them. You can flank them, so be careful. There's a lot of holes in this map. Watch your 6. Keep your head on a swivel. Watch behind you, because you see a lot of scouts. All of a sudden, they just seem to come from nowhere, and then they get a pick, and you're dead. Somebody's behind us. Just be sure to call it. We got a soldier behind, and be very vigilant, waiting for them to make their move, because they will come. So. Okay, so that's mid. We have our passive one, where we're all going to be grouped up here. We have our aggressive one, we're all going to bum rush to the right. And when we say right, and we're bum rushing, that means everybody come on up here. Sam has got a better handle on positioning, so he's coming more up in here to make sure he's giving us heals instead of hanging back more passively.
Yeah,
you always be attached to your fighters.
And where I'm typically going to be positioning myself is opposite of the greatest number of enemies, and usually try under the roof if I see a soldier that could potentially bomb me, because it doesn't make sense to stand in a spot where they can easily bomb me. It makes it harder
More-
to get on the bomb if I'm, you know, right near the corner of the roof there.
More importantly, though, you want to have a beam on your people as they're fighting.
Exactly.
So you might have to be a little bit further forward.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, like, if I
than
know
you
they're
like.
gonna bomb me, if I see them bombing me, I'm gonna go into that corner.
Yep,
At
and
least I
just
can block a follow-up shot by them.
and some meds are super slippery. Even if they get bombed, they're super hard to kill or get. They're just dancing around and masking behind all the things. And what you have to do is you have to trust us to kill them and keep the beams on us rather than go into the combat med mode. So just keep the beams on soldiers or scouts at pick classes.
As long as I can
When you
kill
get a jumper.
people and they need heals, then yes. Otherwise, sometimes I'll just throw a crossbow towards the guy's way. It doesn't hurt.
As long as it's not too
full,
close.
And if they're not focusing anyone else.
One thing that's an advantage is to keep them in sight, the enemies, unless they have a sniper, because then you can see him coming when it's going to jump. And that goes for all maps.
That's besides the point. What about second? Are we talking about pushing second next?
Yeah, that'll be next. So any questions to this point in the mid? Okay, so now that we've taken over mid and killed, if we kill a lot of people, don't even think, let's just start, you don't even need to wait for a call. If it's just obvious and we're up by at least 2 players and we just got mid, just go for it. You know, don't even wait for me to say, push, push, push. You guys can go ahead, you're smart enough, just always check up there. But if you have a good handle in numbers, good players, you know when to push. You don't have to wait for the call. And then what we're going to do too is if we're stalemating and our demos here, soldiers there, I kind of like wrapping and coming to big door because you kind of get a pincer on them. And that means our flank would be up here then. Normally our flank is working down here. You guys are doing your bait tactics, trying to lure somebody in and get a pick, that sort of thing. Or maybe if they're there pretty far back, our soldier can get in here. Again, be careful about hugging the wall. They will see your shadow through the wall, so keep about 6 inches off it. Or you could be up high. I don't know if you can get up that one, but I know you can get up in this one.
I think you can.
Okay, so get the scout working with you. I know you guys were doing that yesterday in the match, so that was good. And that's a good thing for our flank to always be working together. I think you guys did a good job yesterday doing that.
Professional soldier man coming in hot.
There you go. Okay. All right, so we know you can hide up there, and then the scout tries to bait, and then you might almost act like you're scared and maybe take a little bit of damage, and then once they come in through, then our soldier opens up on them. You open up, pick. Hey, we got a pick and flank. Okay, we're pushing now. So sometimes what I like doing, because they always expect the combo to be up here, is wrapping. So okay, if I say rotate, okay, then our combo is going to come down here, and our flank, that means the flank starts rolling up there. And what we're going to do is come through this way, and I'll say use, and then they're all kind of looking this way, and their flank may see us, but if we get a pick, that's a bonus, and then that's when we might rotate. And then our flank comes through this way when they start coming back here, and you guys come up behind them. That's called a pincer, and get them from behind. So once we get 2, if we can afford to, and we're not trying to block forward spawns, just one scout cap only, and then the rest of us are going to start pushing up top. You can cap from up top here within these yellow and black lines, or from the bottom, one or the other. A little safer to do it here, and you can even hide behind here and mask yourself. Soldiers and demos and scouts like spamming through that up there, and so then we just jump across. We're climbing, as we call it, so Sam will come along with us up here, and we'll take the river. Thing to be careful about is once we're in the river here, and they call it river because there used to be water under there, and it used to feed into the underneath, or the water. They like sometimes coming from up through here or through here, and then coming up and wrapping and come up behind you. So again, keep your head on a swivel, and if anybody sees them in the top lobby, call it, or the bottom lobby, call it. And some people call this dungeon down in here. So that would be the sliding door for the dungeon. And yeah, so usually then once we're in the river, we have 2. Then what we're going to do is I will be up here in a soldier and a scout, and we'll be working Watch for traps. Demos love to put traps like right here. And sometimes you'll see a sentry gun over there or over there or over here. And take the soldier. Sam's going to take a soldier and a scout in. What I like doing is I like kind of coming under here. I'll put stickies around here. And if it's clear, I'll come up here and I like putting a periphery of stickies right here. And then if anybody tries to jump down or jump on point, boom, and then I'll keep edging the point. Doesn't always work, but I've had good success overall. So that would be a push to last. We can come through the main, watch for traps around here. However, that's pretty choky here, and the main just doesn't seem to work as well as the river. And then sometimes people come through the balcony, which is right here. What else do they call that, Sam?
This is, I think it's just balcony.
I've heard it called something else.
I don't remember.
Heaven?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and then this is locker room here, because of lockers.
Yeah.
And watch for traps in the shutter. I love putting traps there.
Wait, where were you at just a second ago?
Here at the locker room.
Yeah, this is locker room.
The one before it that you thought there was another name for.
Here?
Oh, the balcony.
Oh, yeah, no, that's just balcony or battlements.
Yeah.
Either or.
Yeah, I've heard it called something else. I forget. That's okay. Watch for the soldier in a pipe right there. He could be spamming done that way too. And okay, so what we're going to be doing, our flank, if we're up in a river, then our flanks will be working opposite. So that gives you guys have options. You can come up here with a direct hit, work their sentry gun. Be careful if you're going to check the shutter here for sticky trap. Just edge it like that. Don't come out here and then he deaths and you're dead. So if you edge it just like that, then you're not going to die. That goes for all doors. Just edge them.
One thing, Moy, when we're pushing in, if like you could probably hide up here if you're trying to back cap. It's not a bad spot. No one ever really looks up here, and then of course I've said this a million times, and in even the past map reviews, but you can always hide up in the pipes up here. You're gonna need the winger or atomizer to get up there, or you can jump up there as a soldier, but you can hide in between these little spots. There's just enough room to hide up there.
Yeah, and usually a soldier's more likely to want to go and do damage and hide up there. I've never, in a match, never seen anybody up there. I know you can do it, but it's too much to orchestrate. Plus, you can be seen if anyone's in a river.
That should be something our scouts maybe should try to practice, getting up on the pipes, especially you, Danny, because I know you love your back caps, and that is somewhere they're never going to look if you want to hide somewhere, just up there on the pipes, if you want to try to go for a sneaky back cap.
Now, if they have a sentry, I may ask you, Sam, to take the demo in, if it's like a level 3 and all that.
Yeah.
You'll see it. This is secret over here, and you'll see it sometimes here, which is a pretty good spot. As demo, I like hiding in here with stickies if they're pushing in on defense. So that's something else you could watch for. On defense, too, if you're heavy, keep your back against the wall in case they go spy. And it's pretty common to see other teams go sniper, and they work main usually, or they might be bats. So if you're heavy and they do have a sniper, you may want to get down a little bit lower and just be ready to pop up once they start getting to the point there. So that would be the push in to last, ideally through the river, but we might want to change it up so we're not predictable. A lot of teams like coming to shutter, so pyro can be pretty effective, and you just keep air blasting them back, and then they've thwarted their Uber, and that pays off. So if you can thwart an Uber as a pyro, even if it costs you your life, I would say go for it. And then off-class, NGs are common, heavies common on this. Sometimes pyro. NGs are real common, though. You don't see snipers too much on defense, but you see them more on offense. Okay, so that's the push. All right, and I'll start going over defense. Any questions on off?
Nope.
Okay, let's talk defense. Okay, so sentry gun, you can see him here, see him here, you can see him over here. Here's not too good because it's pretty spammable from all different places, so it usually doesn't stay up too long. I've seen it here before, and you can face it out that way, not too bad.
Secret, and that I remember one of our games that was the winning spot there,
Right.
because
yeah,
they
that
couldn't
was
back cap us because of it.
And if you do it in secret, offset it to the side too. But it covers more of the point over this way. And you can put a dispenser here so you can be pounding on. Just keep your 6 checked. Just keep looking back here. And heavy again, keep your back against the wall unless they've got sniper. You might want to drop down a little bit. If anybody's coming underneath here, you could say they're under or water. And then there's a little tiny pack right here. A lot of times they love hiding back here. So if you don't see them, sometimes you just see a scout just waiting for the back cap here. So if you're going to clear it, make sure you swing out and check here. And you see a lot of spies in offense in this map too, so be very spy aware if you're on defense on this one here. So basically, okay, so that's a sentry gun. Talked about the heavy snipers, usually up around here, or sometimes you'll see the sniper in the water, kind of watching right around here. Not a bad spot. I am supposed to, as demo, stay around here, but I have pretty good success rate spamming the river with flank. So usually this is the flank side over here on defense. But if I come over here and put a bunch of rollers, sometimes I can help flank get a pick or hold them at bay. You just gotta be careful about traps right here. And sometimes I'll put like a trap right here, and I'll have good success with that, kind of just waiting for somebody to pop out from the lobby, come out here and boom, and then get them that way too. So sometimes I'll work with flank that way and help keep them at bay. Especially other teams, they like pushing river like we do too as well. Okay, so when to push, when we call it, and or if they lose 2, even if we don't have Uber, we're going to go ahead and go on in. Even if they have an advantage, if we get 2, I think it's still going to, at least it's going to force them, if anything, and so we're still buying some time. Do you guys agree with that?
I mean, yeah.
Danimal,
What's up?
do you agree with that?
I kind of phased out. I won't even lie.
So you're not listening to me, and that's what happened in the match.
Oh.
Okay, not just you in particular, but other people.
The scout.
Why are you looking at me, boy? I thought we were friends.
No, I was having to educate people when we went over the map. No, when we went over the map review, I was having to educate people, so I just want to make sure everybody's listening.
Yeah, but I know what mountain defense is. Don't throw shade at me.
What's
I just was picking on you because you're so quiet. Anyway,
I went. You know
the question is, if they have an advantage but they're down by 2, should we push? And we don't have an advantage.
No.
As long as they don't have Uber, I think we should.
I think so.
No, if they have Uber, in my opinion, we should not push.
If they have Uber, we shouldn't. But if they do
If their
not,
team, if we know for like a shadow of a doubt their team sucks, yeah, we push. But if they're like DM gods, no, don't push it.
Yeah, but if they're down by 2 people, that's still pretty powerful, and it gives us an opportunity to get off last. They should back out.
gives us an opportunity to get off.
In theory.
Even if they're down 2, beware if we have any off classes. Like if they're down 2 and we have a heavy sitting at last, we effectively have a 1-player in.
That's true.
And if we have
That's
2
true,
off
and we
classes,
want to keep somebody in last.
if we have 2 off classes and then we get 2, it'd probably be best if both or one of those off classes went back to a normal class. Yeah.
It's also situational too. So one thing that good teams do is, okay, so the flank as you're pushing out, okay, push, go, 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 go. Okay, and so what you'd want to hear is flank going, okay, as they're pushing out, I want to hear water's clear. And I want to hear river's clear. Now, the only problem is if they have a spy, then we might get screwed. Okay, so, and then if our combo, we want to probably say main is clear, and then we need somebody else to go up top and say, okay, top lobby's clear. Now it's been cleared, and now we don't have to worry about a back cap. If we're not sure, then, and that's not cleared, then we need to keep somebody in last. And we paid the price twice in our match last time, because we back cap twice.
If you see a sniper leaving our last, keep eyes on him.
Yes.
If you see him get behind, tell everyone.
By all means. Also, if you're checking water and river, just take a quick look up there on your way out.
Can they get up there?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I said that. I said that every map review basically.
He just showed us.
If you
Or
want, I
talked
can show
about it.
you again.
Nah, it's fine. I'll take it.
See, I knew you weren't listening.
Hey Dan. Dan, if
Is
you
it because
Red-handed.
if I don't implement it, I usually just like zone out. Like I've
Yeah.
never hit up there before.
But we have to work together as a team, and it's a synergy. So that's why it's
Yeah.
important that everybody's listening. So we don't have to stop in the middle of a match and explain it.
You want to show the other place you can hide? You can perch up on. You're right next to it. It's in lower lobby. It's like right above
Oh,
the.
I know
entrance.
about that. I know
Okay.
about that. Nito
do you
showed
know
me.
about the one on battlements that you can hide behind the boxes?
That's it,
Yeah, I
mainly
know
a
that one,
scout,
too.
and it's only on red
Yeah.
side, I think. The blue side, they
It's
don't
only
have
on-
enough room.
No, I think it's only on blue side.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's only on blue
only
side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's blue. Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
you can hide behind that, and they can only see like your
Clearly
hat.
unbalanced map. Red has an advantage. Valve, please.
Valve,
Okay.
Valve,
So,
please.
so when we push, ideally flank will just come out through the river and clear things, and then the combo will come out to the main door. And try to put a lot of spam at the choke as they're coming out. Always look right and just make sure that their flank or a soldier or a scout or the pair of them aren't hanging out there, and just call out what you see. And also, once we're on point capping, okay, spam, spam, spam. Soldiers just put periodic rockets there, one here, maybe rotate between the two, just to keep them at bay so we actually get the point. Because if you don't spam, then somebody could start pushing in and go for you. So all the spamming's doing this is basically a deterrent. So it's well worth, a few rockets and just taking the time to do it, and all good teams spam. And maybe you'll get lucky, some scout will pop out at the wrong moment right as you're shooting a rocket and walk into it. I mean, that happens to me, and I get a pipe in the face or something sometimes. So then that's our push for second. Also, sometimes in the forward spawn thing, and like you guys called out yesterday when I was jumping into the second, you said spam forward spawn. So you got to be careful. Sometimes they'll be spawning from here as you're capping the point. If we're being really aggressive and we're still capping mid, right? So just be aware that they could come out as. Yeah, and also what I do as demo is I'm coming in and ingressing for two. I put rollers, a bunch of rollers, and I start backing up with stickies once we're on point capping. But that's assuming we've already capped mid. If we haven't capped mid, then I'll be focusing this spawn here. Okay, so then pushing out. So combo generally is going to come out through main here. If anyone's hurt, you can grab that pack if Sam hasn't given you heals or if Sam's down. Try to cap, and then let's take our standard positions, combo here, and then flank over there. So our flank scout and then our roamer, you guys are going to work together to be masturbators, and you're going to have our scout trying to lure people through this way and go towards dungeon, and our soldier will be here, not touching the wall, just backed off a little bit or up on top, and going for that pick.
Aye, lad.
What's that?
I said aye, lad.
Aye. Okay, so that's second. Now, any questions so far?
What shoe size do you wear?
Also, how do you have a 4 kill streak?
He killed me.
4 times.
Fast respawn.
Alright, let's just go.
Guess
Alright,
what's in? Guess what's in?
All right, so anyway, choke. The combo's here, so the 4 of us, and then over here, and then we might be building with our combo scout. And over here, our flank is going to be working. You might call for a rotate. Depends on snipers and situational. We may want to try to catch them off guard, kind of wrap them. My problem is coming this way is the low ground, so it's not quite as advantageous. And choke is a little bit better. But that being said, if you can catch them off guard, then sometimes that still works. So we might just call rotate, and that means flank comes over here, and the combo now goes to big door. Okay, so when we're going to push in, usually, unless we're losing, and it's like 1-4 like yesterday, then we may want to be really aggro and take really big risks at pushes. But generally, we want to go for a pick, at least get 1, ideally 2, and then we start coming in, even if Ubers are even, and then force them back. And then usually they try to get out a choke or big door and just put a lot of spam there. Put rockets there, I'll be putting rollers, whichever way they're going, call it. They're egressing big door or they're egressing choke. Be careful, a lot of times you get stragglers down below, So if you see a scout and he drops down, just call scout under, and then our scouts can go pick him off. Usually you're pretty low health if you get underneath. Down there, it's not a good place to be. Okay, so let's see here. Then I think that's about it, right? Defending, I think we covered all defending and all offense too.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay, any questions?
No.
No, sir.
Okay, so just to flank, just keep working and getting better and better at debating tactics, because that's really important. Once we get a pick, then that's 18% of our fighting force down from the count, one pick, so that really helps.
If their flank takes out their entire flank, that makes it really easy for you guys to push. And then, you know, once again, if you're going to push out, if the flank's open, let us know. Because then what we can do is once you distract them, or we can do it the other way around. We make a huge lot of ruckus and you come in behind them. Or it can be the other way around, depending on what you want.
The other thing, too, is backcaps. I think we're getting better at backcaps and being more aware. But that's huge, because if you can just backcap, it saves us the whole grief of having to retake 2, maybe even mid, if you can just come in here and grab it on the fly. So just always be thinking backcap. Is it an opportunity? Rather than, hey, I'm behind him, I'm going to come around here and I'm going to go for the med. Instead, you could probably come down here, come around here, and start backcapping. And if you are, say, block to death, and that means that we're going to jump on the point just to buy you time, and we're anticipating we're going to die. But it's all about time and blocking that time. So once you're going to decide to make a backcap attempt, just say block to death. And it's risky, but it's worth the effort.
Another thing is make sure to be realistic. Like, let's say they had a sentry gun that's like literally on the point, and you don't think you can take care of it because the engineer is there as well. Instead of wasting your time dealing with the engineer and then having the team maybe, you know, send a scout back just to help the engineer if he needs help, then that might be a better idea to go for the medic pick if you think you can't backcap it. See if you can try to see who's on the backcap without them seeing you, if that's even possible. And also,
the other thing you can do too. Go ahead.
And the best way to see them without them seeing you is just listen to footsteps, because usually people watching the backcap are going to be moving around. They're going to be making a lot of noise, and you can listen for the footsteps. And also, you should have a deafen button, and that's a good time to deafen us, is when you're trying to listen for those footsteps. The
other thing too is the sentry is not always a showstopper. For example, let's just say they have their sentry right here. You can come up, and you can just edge this point and come up here, and then you mask it. So it can't shoot through the wall, obviously. So you just go where the gun can't get to you, and you still get a backcap out of it. And all they have is the NG. So as a scout, you can kill them, and then you can hear it if it's going to track you. So if you step over here, just go beep, beep, but it doesn't shoot at you, kind of thing. But you can still go for a backcap even though they have a gun. And usually, on most points, you can, but not all, you can find a place where the gun can't see you.
Yeah, I was just bringing that up because there are some times where the gun can see you and you can't really get a backcap, or it could even be a heavy watching. You just don't think you can beat the heavy.
I can beat the heavy if I get behind him.
A good scout, a good solid scout, and usually a heavy. He's an off class, so he's not a heavy main. In a way, if you get and you can jump around a lot, and some heavies aren't good at tracking up. It just depends on the heavy. It's worth the risk taking a one-on-one, or even a soldier. You know, fire him at a distance, reload, and go back in. You know, it's still worth the risk of taking any 1v1 for a backcap, because backcaps are huge.
Yeah.
And people get too DM centric and not backcap focused enough. And what happens is, I've seen teams that they DM really good, they have a lot more kills, and they still lose because they don't have the game sense of backcapping. And that's what really, to win, it's about, is the caps.
Oof.
Well, I think that's it, and that concludes it. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll reset it. So, okay, Grandpa. So we hope you enjoyed the show, and you can turn the lights back on and throw away your popcorn.
Popcorn. I'm gonna stop it
Moy roast me for no reason.
now.